Mike King back with my man Anthony Romanello, Henrico Economic Development. When we talk about opportunities and spaces, so what's grown out at Virginia Center Commons started as an idea from someone, and what we learned from you before, someone had to go get that site ready. And we talked with, I've been around economic development folks, I've learned certain things. That had to be ready for the opportunity to come about. Talk about selling a vision so that when the opportunity comes, Henrico is ready.
Yeah, so it starts. You have a mall that was built in the late 80s, an indoor mall. We don't tend to shop in buildings like that. The property changed hands several times. An out-of-state owner who really didn't care about the property, and so the county stepped in and bought the mall. At the same time, the county had been considering for a long time how to get into the indoor sports business. And the redevelopment of that mall with the Henrico Sports and Events Center was born. Then with our partners at Rebke, also Stanley Martin Homes, what you've got coming out of the ground there now is a mixed-use community that will be complementary to the Sports and Events Center. Hotels are under construction, restaurants are under construction. So right off of Interstate 95, we have the sports tourism venue that right now is booked 47 weekends out of the year. So it's been a huge success for the county, a great asset for the community. And as you know, Mike, we don't use it just for sports.
No.
We've used it for community events. We use it for high school graduations. And most recently, the A10 women's tournament was there, and they're going to be there for the next few years. Yeah.
Shout out to Candy Cage and those guys are really coming through and taking the time to talk with us. When you look at something like that, it becomes a crown jewel for this area. All of a sudden, you're not competing with the Stew and those other places. Now all of a sudden, Henrico has their own. How far back was that idea that we needed to get our own facility?
Well, the idea started probably about a decade ago.
Okay.
And the county considered various locations, but I think what happened was with the Virginia Center site is ideal because you're right at the intersection of two interstates. And as the mall declined and we looked at how we reposition this property, it was perfect. And if you think about the major facilities in Virginia, Northern Virginia, and the beach were centrally located, it's a perfect location, easy to access, and the facility is just fantastic.
So all of a sudden, one of the other things you had informed me and we let people know is that the bills for the county, a lot of them are paid on the East End. People are shocked when they hear that because they see the glitz and glamour of Short Pump.
There is a lot of glitz and glamour in Short Pump, absolutely. I like to think our whole community is glitz and glamour, but in Eastern Henrico, that's where our industrial base is, in and around the airport. And it's grown up as the airport has grown over the last several decades. White Oak Technology Park has billions of dollars of construction, mostly data centers in there. And then we have a number of advanced manufacturing projects that are continuing to advance in Henrico. And absolutely, we do pay our bills with that industrial area around there that helps support roads, parks, schools, all the things that our citizens have come to expect as part of our quality of life.
So, sir, when I see you sometime, you're trying to let me know what goes on the East End of Henrico. Golden double stuffed Oreos, yes, and double stuffed Oreos. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the kind of things I have to put up with when I see this man right here, because he says this is what's made in Henrico.
Absolutely. Mondelez brands. If you've had an Oreo on the East Coast, it was made on Laburnum Avenue in Henrico. They make 10,000 Oreos a minute. It's all part of the advanced manufacturing that's out in Eastern Henrico and a good part of what drives our economy.
You also have the bottling that goes on out there as well.
Coca-Cola is out there. We have Alfa Laval, which is a heat exchange manufacturer. Frito-Lay is out there. Sanjay, which makes tamari sauce. So we've got a really strong food and beverage corridor, as well as advanced manufacturing, Anord and Eaton, which are electrical supply companies, pretty strong presence out there that adds to our manufacturing component.
That is on the big side. But you guys are also in the business, like you told me, the retention of businesses and catering to the small business community. Talk a little bit about that. Shout out to my man Tom Lapis as well once again. You guys up there with the Henrico Citizen?
We did. We have a boost program with the Citizen that Tom works with Ebony on our team. We've been able to, over the last couple of years, been able to support 60 businesses through the small businesses in the Henrico area through the boost program, where we provide a little bit of money, and then Tom provides in-kind services through the Henrico Citizen to help all of those businesses really move forward. And a good percentage of those were women-owned and minority-owned businesses, so we're especially proud of that. We've been in conversations with Startup Virginia about some additional support for entrepreneurial businesses. We're a large supporter of the Small Business Development Center, which the regional headquarters is here in Henrico, recognizing that while we have 7 Fortune 1000 headquarters, while we have major industrial companies in the East, the vast majority of our businesses are small businesses, and we want to work to make sure they continue to grow and succeed.
Oh, speaking of, shout out to AZ Art Studio, the dental folks out there. Dr. Ashley is doing some amazing things. Alrighty, sir. Let's get to the important thing, the partnership that you have with the good folks over at Gather.
Yeah.
What exactly is that?
So, Polly and Doug with Gather are opening a new Gather at Innsbruck, 4101 Cox Road, right at the entrance to Innsbruck. And as we talked to them about that, we had been looking for some time at opening a global business gateway. And what the global business gateway is it's for established international businesses that don't have a presence in the United States. And so as the conversation evolved, we were going to open up a gateway. They were opening Gather, and we thought, well, rather than have the gateway in separate office space, let's put them in Gather where they're right next to domestic businesses, so those B2B conversations can happen. So this spring, Gather will open, the Global Business Gateway will open. We already have businesses that we're talking to from Asia, Africa, and Europe, also South America, that are looking to come in here. And the idea is that we will help them with wraparound support services for 12 to 18 months, and then they will move into their own space and then grow their presence here in the United States in Henrico.
Who else around is doing something like that?
Well, there's a number of places outside of Virginia that have what they call soft landing programs, but typically those are independent offices. What's, I think, unique about our program is putting it in Gather, putting it in a co-working space. And I think from a co-working standpoint, nobody does it better than Gather.
Probably Doug White. And what they do to support the community is amazing too. So it's not shocking that this idea would come together.
It really is serendipity, and we're really excited about it and what it's going to mean for the opportunity that it'll bring for these international companies to help bring new jobs and new investment to Henrico. And it's all part of our umbrella office program, which we're calling Henrico Tomorrow, which is to help office development and redevelopment in Henrico. The gateway is a component of that from the international side. We have a number of programs also under Henrico Tomorrow to help our existing corporate services businesses, as well as those who own office buildings in Henrico.
Alrighty, Anthony Romanello here. I was going to say ESPN. No, that's me. On the mic with Mike. So, sir, let's put a bow on 2024. Let's get a wrap up with 2024 and tell us 2025 what you guys are looking at.
What you're going to see in 2025, all indications are that it's going to be a really strong year, Mike. We've got a couple of announcements that are coming soon that I can't tell you about.
The man always tells me I had some announcements coming, but you'll
see corporate services, you'll see advanced manufacturing, you'll see data centers. There's a lot of exciting things in the pipeline that are going to be public in the next few months.
So, all right, so 2024, how did we wrap up 24?
2024 was also a really strong year. The pandemic is in the rearview mirror. we took the time to develop our program to assist corporate services and office, and then we had significant investments in industrial and data centers in the East, a multi-billion-dollar year, our biggest year yet.
There you go. You guys are celebrating companies that have been in business in Henrico 50, 75, 100 years.
We do.
That says something about the growth and the strength and sustainability of the organization and the community. Anything else you'd just like to let our folks know about?
Just appreciate everything that you do, Mike. And my email is anthony@henrico.com. If you have a business or you're thinking about starting one, reach out. We're happy to help.
There you go. I'd like to thank you guys too for supporting me and the things that I do. One of the sponsors, you came on board for the Black CEO conversation, talking about corporate leadership responsibilities. Well, from Black CEOs, so we got some great panelists there.
You do.
I'd like to thank you guys for coming on board. What we do is we talk to the best and the brightest, and it's always a good time to come on. Plus, this puts me right at the house too.
Absolutely.
Yeah, thank you.
You can go home now.
Thank you, Henrico EDA. So shout out to my man once again, Tom Lapis, the Henrico Citizen. That is Henrico's news source. So out there, we'd like to thank you for tuning in. On the mic is Mike. Anthony, we got to go. Thanks, now, folks.
Thanks,
Take
Mike.
care.